The original concept for the Lake of Dreams started with taking something that had never been done before, creating an environment that could only be for Wynn guests.
I received a telephone call from Rick Gray, who is also our incredible producer, and he said, everyone wants new shows. How about coming back and doing this again? I mean, it didn't take me even 5 seconds to say, yeah, I love it here.
The lake was a big deal because nobody had ever seen anything like this.
Among the characters we're going to see that are coming in the new show will be giant animatronic tropical bird, a giant singing frog, futuristic astronauts that are flying through the air, bringing new technologies, new collaborators, new music, and a reinvigoration of the Lake of Dreams. I'm Michael Curry, the founder of Michael Curry Design. You're at my studio in Scappoose, Oregon, which is a rural area outside Portland, Oregon. Today, I'll show you 54 people, hard at work, all working on the individual components of the Lake of Dreams. This is the frog in its state of undress, and I'll show you a couple things that'll give you a sense of its scale. The hand is laying on the ground. This is his lower lip. So his lip is 16 feet across, and it moves with such speed. Today's technology and the new servo motors we're using can be very precise. I'll go show you the astronaut from Space Oddity. One of our shows in Lake of Dreams is a very fantastic reimagining of David Bowie's Space Oddity. We've re-recorded the music, made it really very interesting, modernized it, the instrumentation, and then we've written a story about an African-American female astronaut. She's a very adventurous and beautiful form that is primarily delivered in our computer animation as a projection on the screen, but at the button of the show, she appears live at the top of the waterfall and floats through a magical new innovation we have called a 3D flying system, and she floats to the audience. This is not easy. When you have a technical challenge, it all has to be designed to not only be transported to Las Vegas, but to move through our maze of tunnels to get under the mountain, which is under the Lake of Dreams. So it is a very complex process.
I'm Charles Babbage. I'm the art director here at Michael Curry Design. I work closely with Michael, taking the concepts and the pie in the sky ideas and developing them into real products. As time has gone on, we've moved into this digital world, and part of that is creating, to get the ideas from oftentimes pencil sketches on paper to a digital model, and then back out to a full-size 3D sculpted piece.
My name is Sam Perkins. I'm the technical director for Michael Curry Design. I'm in charge of all of the mechanical elements. This area back here is our metal fabrication, welding and grinding and machining area. We're building the frameworks for the hands for the frog right here. This will go inside that hand, and then we're actually mechanizing the fingers of the left hand of the frog.
We're not the only team working on it. There are hundreds of people in different organizations in the US, in Asia, in the UK, who are working on components and elements for this.
This is me a bit bleary-eyed coming to work, and it's 5:30 in the morning. And this is the room where I'll be for the next 5 hours with Terry. I'm Partick Woodroffe, and I'm the lighting designer for the new Lake of Dreams shows at the Wynn Hotel. But this is where we put together a lot of shows. In the back there is a little rehearsal space where I rehearsed. The last show I did was Nick Mason from the Pink Floyd. We rehearsed in there. So this is a place we know well, but come and have a look inside.
Morning, how'd you sleep?
Yeah, all right. I can't believe this is what day 20 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, 20.
These are floating globes with projectors in them that float on the water. Those are lasers doing that. I was approached 2 years before we even broke ground on the hotel to come up with some ideas as to what this lake might be. We knew there would be a lake, we knew there would be a mountain, we knew there would be some trees. And so we brainstormed this with the team that very quickly became Kenny Ortega as our kind of creative director of all the ideas. Michael Curry, who made all the lovely three-dimensional objects that we see, or the props that we see in the lake, and I was going to make the lighting and all the other visual effects.
This was about creating a theater and an outdoor theater. As it developed, we decided to put restaurants out there, we decided to have terraces so you could sit and watch it, but the idea was always that you would need to come into the resort to experience the Lake of Dreams as opposed to seeing it from the sidewalk.
The idea of bringing what appeared to be a natural environment to life with light, an ordinary beautiful black mirror surface of the lake suddenly becoming an underwater video screen was extraordinary. We'd worked on the planning of this for 2 years. But the really interesting part comes when everything is up and working, and it's the last 6 weeks when the team comes together in Las Vegas. We all sit together and using these tools that we have spent 2 years conceiving and finding and commissioning, and then turning that into some sort of magic as we interpret these songs with music and light and images. And we couldn't go. The COVID wouldn't allow us to fly.
When we closed our doors and when we shut down, clearly we cut lots of projects, as all companies did. Knowing that we can't have big shows, we can't have nightclubs, what type of new entertainment can we launch coming out of this pandemic that will really be centered around fun and excitement and a little bit of levity?
The hotel did everything they could well in advance for guests returning and for vendors returning to know that they were entering into a safe space. When Michael Curry and I were doing the 2002 Salt Lake Winter Olympics, we were weeks away from the opening ceremonies when 9/11 occurred. We received a telephone call from the president of the Salt Lake Winter Olympics. The Olympics were not going to be canceled, and that the Olympics could be the light that comes out of the darkness of this event. And when we got the call that we were going to continue to pursue the opening of the Lake of Dreams, we only could do it because we could do it safely. There are no live entertainers, it's all media. All of us that are working behind the scenes could be safely distanced and masked, and that we hope this show could bring some light back to Las Vegas, and I'm grateful to be a part of that.
This show was conceived 17 years ago as a socially distanced, wraparound environmental exterior show. So this thing was built for now. And I'm very proud of the first show that's going to open in the United States is our show.
We immediately went to work to see if we could find a way to do the work remotely. I mean, of course, we know that Zoom calls take place all the time, so we needed to have very clear images of the lake from 3 or 4 high-resolution cameras. More importantly than that is that we needed to have communication with the rest of the team. We can light up from our front lights from the booth, but I think it's going to be a permutation of those 3 things and quite a science project to get that. But as an overall thing, how did she feel? How did she look?
Technology was one of the drivers of why we wanted to make changes.
So when we first came together and we sat as a group, Rick was like, here's where we are with projection, here's where we are with cameras, here's where we are with light and lasers and sound. We have Peter Hylinski, who's a major Broadway mixing engineer, and we've also got the brilliant Gary Jager, who's been doing our visual effects and animation.
Well, today we're rehearsing the frog and primarily animatronics, but there's video involved in that too. We've done some work for the lake screen, and we've modified the beginning of it where, you know, he's in New York, he's doing New York, New York. So we thought it would be cool to sort of drift a camera up a old brownstone in New York, and we'll see some characters inside those windows. It's a new piece, we don't have it before, so we're in the process of generating that and modifying those files.
We have the lake screen, which is 4,200 lights under the water. We bubble the water so it becomes a white rear-lit screen, and that screen can collaborate with the waterfall video screen, and now we can collaborate with all the lake lighting. The cohesive technology that we can now combine into one package is so much better than it was 14 years ago.
I think we're looking for an experience. When we book a table at SW or Lakeside, we're drawn to those spaces, those terraces, because we're looking for an experience.
The secret of great lighting is to have something great to light.
It's a process of visual, music, and story.
You can only see it at Wynn. It doesn't exist anywhere else. And when you're sitting there, it doesn't matter if you're 15 or 75. It doesn't matter where you came from, but I think you'll understand it. I think you'll feel it because we are appealing to humanity.